1968, the Fair Housing Act, which protects equal housing rights. And then we have the challenges. Some of the challenges, despite efforts, may include achieving nationwide diversity and fair housing, and actions needed. We are in a great position, a phenomenal opportunity to impact change. So repeat after me. I did. Thank you. Somebody understood. I can impact change. Do you believe that?
Yes.
Do you believe that?
Yes.
This side of the room does. This side of the room, y'all, what y'all eat for lunch? I didn't see pasta. Y'all wake up. There was no pasta there. You can impact change. And it starts in our beliefs and our attitudes. And so promote inclusivity. That means challenge the opposition to diversity and fair housing. See something, say something. Don't sit silent on it. Correct a friend. Don't be afraid to do it. Be empathetic and engage. Approach with empathy to prevent division. And then we talk about highlighting the benefits, which include educate on the societal benefits of diversity. And then data and dialogue. Use data and answer those. You got data from Lawrence before he left here. He gave you data. How many of you took a picture of that? Yeah, he gave you some great data to use. And then we talk about addressing the concerns. Engage respectfully. I don't expect everybody to agree. How many Cowboy fans in here? No. See, nobody gets CE, Jessica. Lock the doors, no CE. Now, I got some thoughts and words about them. They're not nice. But I can't approach the person who likes the Cowboys and tell you that your team sucks, so that must mean that you are not good. No, that's not how that works. I have to be empathetic and say, I told you you weren't going to the Super Bowl. And then advocate. Advocate with empathy to shift perspectives. I remember I was listening to, I think it was Cassandra. She told the story about how she saw one of her neighbors was having a party, and she wasn't invited. And so she said, she went on over to the house, knocked on the door, and they said, oh, you're my neighbor. And she's been invited to every party since. So how can we collaborate, even when we have differences? And then motivation and engagement, valuing unique contributions, promotes employee motivation and engagement. And diversity sparks innovation, fostering new perspectives and problem solving. And then it helps organizations stay competitive and understand the diverse customer needs. So you will need your phones to play this game. Ethnocentrism, I practiced this all last night, and cultural biases is the belief that your culture, the culture you grew up in, is better than all others. And it doesn't only occur across nationalities, it can filter into many different beliefs about social groups and the microcultures within the United States as well. So we're going to take a little quiz. And before we pull it up, here's the choices you're going to have. You're going to be able, I took out neutral, because we're not going to be neutral. We either are or we're not. So when it comes up, you're going to be able to say strongly agree, disagree, agree, or strongly agree or strongly disagree. It's only 5 questions. No judgment. You don't even have to put your real name on there. I can get 100 people in there, and when it pops up, you'll be able to scan a QR code. And when you scan that QR code, it's going to take you to the game. Who's ever played Crowd Party? I told y'all I was a teacher, right? So I hope y'all are okay with playing games. How does that look to a client when you roll up and you say, oh, you're different from me, I don't trust you. I can't sell you real estate. Nope, not gonna work. You're not like me. So sometimes we don't even think we have those biases, but look at some of the responses that came up. Jamuna, what was your theme for this year?
Home is home in any language.
Home is home in any language. In any language. So when you think about, you go back to the PowerPoint. So when you think about that, how many of you have been in situations where you encountered something that you just felt uncomfortable with? Thank you for being honest. Some of us will believe, no, doesn't happen, never happened, wouldn't happen. Until it happens. Amazon delivers your package to the wrong house. You order food and it goes to the wrong house. My food has gone to my neighbor's house 3 times. I'm beginning to think they hate me now. So there is no perfect world when we all grew up different. We all grew up with someone else's belief and someone else's thought pattern. So now when we're talking about cognitive biases, we're talking about biases that happen when a person recognizes the impact of the bias or judgment on others. On the streets, watching the building on fire, and the building begins to crumble. A lot of people around me. A lot of people standing there. A lot of people running across that bridge to get back to Brooklyn. Fast forward. I don't want to be in spaces where it's a lot of people around me. I can't do it. If it's too many people, I have to begin to exit myself from that situation. Why? Because past experiences told me that when there's a lot of people in this area, that's because something bad has happened. So you need to get away from all of these people. You need to separate yourself. Think back to maybe when you were growing up or an experience you had in real estate where someone said, oh, you can't be in that experience because that's how they are. So it might be implicit that someone implanted it and you didn't even realize it. And so struggles and obstacles that are faced by minority groups, and that include historical barriers, financial hurdles, and biases. For instance, people say the darndest things when you don't wear your name tag and they don't know you're in real estate. Well, that over there, that's the Asian community. That over there, that's the Black community. This one over here, I said, I'm sorry, I thought a community was a community. We don't have such communities labeled like that, but I'm still hearing it. So we still have a ways to go, and correcting people, I'm okay with correcting people. Are you? Because if more of us become okay with correcting them, it just might stop. But when you start talking about creating a vision, creating a plan, you have to give your broker something to work with. So as a broker, when an agent comes to you and says, gee, my business is struggling, you might ask that agent, what's your plan? And they might be looking at you like, I don't know, you create the plan. Have a resource. 12-week year is a great resource. It is not quarterly, it's 12 weeks. And it works for every capacity of a business or even personal. So you can have 3 business goals and 1 personal. So now we talked about the broker a little bit. Let's talk about the agent. Rachel said, I have no idea, so that's why I don't want to do it. Well, think about it. When you're holding a child accountable, it doesn't have to be your own child. You're holding someone accountable. Hey, if you don't do this, you don't get this. So I need you to be accountable to do what you said you were going to do. So that's a good one for thought.
You don't get paid. You've got to turn in your.
You don't get paid. Yeah.
Turn in your contracts within 24 hours.
That accountability. Give me one more.
Set policies and procedures.
Are brokers required to have a policy and procedure?
Yes.
Oh, y'all are some smart cookies. I love it. Y'all macadamia nut cookies. All right, David, what'd your table say?
Is that a violation of the code of ethics for you to operate as an engineer? Yeah, it was a tie. She said yes. What do you say?
I say yes too.
Which article? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
You thought this was gonna be
The cheat
easy?
sheet.
That's something different. Okay, so do you feel like
This group here says option and earnest money are not due by 5. This group says option and earnest money is due by 5. So who wants to be the spokesperson over here to get them to come over?
I mean, I don't want to be a spokesperson, but my logic says it should be due by 5 because that's the close of business, right?
Okay, what do y'all think? What do you think?
I think that if I got a relationship with the title company and if they're willing to come grab the check for me or meet me somewhere to give them the check or whatever arrangement the buyer and the seller have agreed to, then it might not happen before 5. I think I got a little bit more time.
We're not talking about your relationship. We're talking about the contract.
I'm so glad you said that. Can you tell me what time does the contract say?
Contract says
What line of the contract says 5?
No, I think it's that, oh, it says end of day.
Where does it say end of day? What time is end of day?
11:59.
What time is end of day?
11:59 p.m.
11:59 p.m.